just about to win that mega contract. You've gone through procurement, you've been working with your champion, the economic buyer, everyone is hooked in. And then they tell you that timelines are tight and they want to get it through this quarter. You've got a month left. And what do you get is a 1,000-question security questionnaire from their IT department. You're scrambling, you're looking for context. Where did Jimmy put the last security questionnaire responses? You're looping in your engineers, your CTO, your customer success team, and you're trying to answer this questionnaire. I'm going to show you in 15 minutes or less how you can use Claude Cowork to automate your security questionnaire process. The questionnaire you just got is the CAIQ, or Cloud Alliance Questionnaire. This is a really common one. Otherwise, you might also get the SIG questionnaire. And it's great to have a couple of these actually already filled out and ready to go based off your content and your company in case it comes up. And you can use them as grounds to answer future questionnaires. But let's look into the CAIQ and how we can automate that with Claude Cowork. So here I have it in front of me. It's a pretty common one. You can see there's quite a few questions. What do we have? About 314 questions, all about my company, whether we meet it or not, different criteria, requirements regarding our security posture, regarding data sovereignty, privacy, risk. And that's what it boils down to, is risk. That's what the security team are attempting to do, is understand your business and whether it meets into their requirements and their guidelines for their business. And it's an important step. You can't mess it up and you have to go through it. And the security team are doing their job, giving you this questionnaire, which is good. But it doesn't have to be a headache. And that's where AI can help you. So I'm going to jump into Claude Cowork. I've already created a mock company talent flow HR software. The kind of documents I have in my Claude Cowork project are my project instructions, which you're going to be able to download in the link below. And then you've also have my past RFP and past example documents that are all in my. And then you have all your past project and context and anything that you would have in a content library or Google Drive or Microsoft SharePoint folder with all the content that you would normally look at when answering a security questionnaire. Have that ready and in your project file.
Hey, it's actually something really important I didn't mention here. You want to make sure using paid Claude subscription and AI data training is turned off before you're ever putting your company documents and documentation into Claude. You don't want to be sharing all that information into kind of training AI models that is proprietary to your company. And yeah, it's really important to make sure that is safe and secure.
So you put that on your computer, have Claude Cowork access it. Great thing about Claude Cowork in this example is you can also share it with your team so then they can use your project as well and then have it answer their questionnaires that they get throughout their sales process. Great. So now jumping into this, I'm going to grab my CAIQ questionnaire. Because I have so much information already in the project, my prompt can actually be really simple. Please fill out this CAIQ in the original format and provide to me in XLSX. So it's going to go through and start answering that questionnaire. It has the necessary context in my project. It has the project instructions. You can even create skills, which I have a few of, which you can see in future videos on this channel. And using those skills, using that project context and everything, and information about my company, it's then going to be answering this CAIQ questionnaire for me. You can see Claude is going to work looking at the resulting files, because that's in the project instructions. I have a lot of prompting in my project instructions around making sure to not hallucinate or not make up information if it's not sure. And here Claude Cowork, when it's trying to automate this security questionnaire, is going to ask me questions. Yeah, full draft in one process. So here's asking whether the questions should be strict. So absolutely, want to make sure it's correct. And should I prioritize previously completed? Yes, of course. So it's already found a previously completed CAIQ questionnaire, and you can use that as the basis for this CAIQ questionnaire. Isn't that great? It's got this one from a new customer and it's going to go through and answer that based off its prior context. And I've even told it what prior context to prioritize, which is incredibly important when you're building out a content library. In this case, my past questionnaires, my policies, my BCP plan, and everything that's answering the security questionnaires. And as it's running, I actually want to touch on that. And that's where a lot of security questionnaire automation tools go wrong, is they only focus on things like your policies. So your BCP plan, your disaster recovery plan, your ISMS framework that you have for your ISO 27001 certificate, or that you have for your SOC 2 as well, or SOC 2 Type 2 and so on. Where they go wrong is they only rely on those policies to answer questionnaires, and it doesn't take into account your tone of voice, your other relevant information. That could be tools like Vanta, Drata, and those kind of like trust portal software. The important thing of using your AI for your security questionnaire automation, not just based off your policies, but using your past answers, is that just takes in so much more context, and will pick up on things like tone of voice and how you reply and how you would normally structure these responses for that security questionnaire, helping further automate more of that with AI. I wanted to point out something that's really cool what Claude Cowork does when you provide it something with a structure, and that is it uses subagents to create a task list. So now when I look at the progress of Claude Cowork, I can see what it's working on and how it's going to progress through the prompt or the task that I assigned it. And as it's working through, I can see how it progresses, and I can, of course, look at the task list and make notes, be like, hey, I would actually tackle it by doing this or that instead of how you've planned to approach the problem. And that's one of the great things about Claude Cowork and other kind of agentic frameworks that are built on top of the large language model, is you're not merely chatting to the API or the large language model. It's actually using subagents and agentic framework to get better results, in this case, better results for our security questionnaire automation. And here's something interesting. So as it's working through, it's actually using some of my skills, my RFP AI skills, which you can also download in the link below, and using my contradiction checker skill. And why that's important is because you can see here that my North Park SIG Lite, which is a past SIG that I've completed and provided to Claude in my project, it's now looking and vetting those answers to its known context based off other information it has. And one of the issues there is with AI is often figuring out what is the most relevant answer. Our platform, AutoRFP.ai, we use a bunch of different things built into our trust score around recency bias, around the freshness of and the usage of content, when it was last reviewed, does it have an owner, and what type of content it is, as well as tagging and hierarchy and categorization of content. Now, all of that you can't necessarily do in Claude Cowork, but you can give it tools and smarts to help it check for inconsistencies and give it guardrails when to choose the appropriate answer based on that information, which is what the contradictor skill does. Okay, so it did take a while. I paused the video, but it took about 15 to 20 minutes to that run through. And as you can see, it's also gone past my planned usage. So now I'm using additional usage and kind of chewed through a lot of my daily limit of Claude Cowork that I have on the $20 a month plan. And that's probably one of the trickier things is Claude Cowork does have limitations in security questionnaire automation. For instance, the time it took, I would actually say it's quite slow. Taking 20 minutes to answer 300 questions, I know that's a lot faster than a human, but for AI security questionnaire automation, that's actually quite slow. And then just the additional usage and kind of the inefficiencies that it has. There's a lot more efficient ways to do this by grabbing like a actual AI RFP software or AI security questionnaire automation software, and so on. But overall, it did quite well. So 71% is a yes, one no, and then 18 an A. So it understands my company enough to mark when something is not applicable. For instance, IAS and hypervisor questions, that's not really applicable to SaaS offering, which is what my fake company is in this example. And then 22.3, it's a gap, so it didn't have an answer. And that was how I set up the settings. I didn't want to try to fake things, because that's half the problem with AI and security question or automation, is it gives an answer, and if it's not the right answer, it actually takes more time to go back, check it. Did it get it right or wrong? Did it just guess something? Did it provide an overly generic response that actually doesn't help you win the deal? And therefore, it just takes more time. So I prefer when it's not confident on a response, just give no response, which is what it did here. So overall, about a 76% or 78% kind of automation rate, which is pretty cool for my security questionnaire automation here. And then it talks about the different questions and gap clusters and who to talk about and so on. It's just trying to provide additional information, which isn't super useful. But I can look at my completed CAIQ. Here it is. It's actually used its XLS Python skill, which is an inbuilt thing within Claude Cowork, to then enter back that information in the Excel questionnaire for me. So I can go through, and I guess my workflow from here would be, what's tricky is I can't get other team members to collaborate directly in here, so they can't necessarily see my prior prompting and Claude's information. But I guess I would upload this to Google Sheets or SharePoint, and then I would tag and people in to come help me out and so on. So it's done pretty good. It's made some annoying things like source, Blue Ridge Cake. Yeah, so it's gone a little bit off, like telling me exactly the source in the text. So there's obviously a couple of little things to clean up. Overall, I think it's done pretty well. It's put a yes there where required. And overall for the CAIQ questionnaire, yeah, it's done pretty well in answering those questions. And it's definitely a big time saver. So all up, that took 30 minutes to talk to Claude, get the response back, do 340 questions. Overall, pretty good for security questionnaire automation. So recapping, what we did and what we looked into was how to use Claude Cowork for your security questionnaire automation. I have in the link below there's some useful materials to help you go further with this. So I'll include the project instructions that I have. So what you want to do is set up your Claude project. You want to make sure that you have your correct instructions and upload all relevant kind of past projects, your help technical documentation, different like URLs and links and context, everything that's relevant to, and your policies, of course, that are relevant to answer the questionnaire. Then, yeah, you can give it a go, uploading blank questionnaires. Yeah, if you want to test it out, download the kind of free template for CAIQ. You can find it from their website. Have a look, or if you have any other kind of past security questionnaires that you want to try out with it. Where this falls short, which is such a common one, is vendor portals. As in, if you have a security questionnaire in a portal and you can't export out the questions, this you could of course just copy and paste, but that would take a long time. And I actually have tried Claude kind of browser on it, and it doesn't work at all. So that's definitely a big gap, is those kind of vendor questions. AutoRFP, we're an AI RFP and security questionnaire automation software. And we have a portal agent that is purpose built for those kind of questionnaires. Like for instance, SAP Ariba, OneTrust, UpGuard, all the kind of major ones, as well as it works on any of them because it uses like an agentic computer vision framework to find the requirements for the portal questionnaires. But yeah, that's really useful. That's what we use, and I actually use day to day. I don't use Claude Cowork for security questionnaires day to day, but yeah, that's what I use there, and that can be incredibly valuable. So that's probably one of the other gaps. So overall, I hope you found that useful. Yeah, if you're keen to learn more about AI and RFP and security questionnaire, have a look at some of the other videos on this channel. I'll subscribe for more. All right, thanks. See ya.